Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going over a news report that I'm seeing now on News 5 Cleveland, an ABC affiliate, where Ohio Republican Governor Mike DeWine and his Lieutenant Governor Husted visited Donald Trump and J.D. Vance ahead of a potential U.S. Senate appointment. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine and Lieutenant Governor Jon Husted visited Mar-a-Lago to meet with President-elect Trump and Vice President-elect J.D. Vance, and specifically the topic of who will be appointed to replace J.D. Vance in the United States Senate. It's one of the most important decisions DeWine has to make, and he has to make it soon. DeWine said, "I continue to interview people in regard to their interest in going into the United States Senate," DeWine told reporters last Friday. Current Ohio Senator J.D. Vance will need to resign by Inauguration Day, opening up his coveted seat. Previously, the governor said he wants someone who can win not just the primary and general elections of 2026, but can hold on to the seat in 2028. Quote, "This has to be someone who really wants to do the job and do the work and who we think has the ability to do it," he said, adding the Senate appointment would also be able to stay in the seat for a long time. He would also consider appointing someone who has no political experience. "The person needs to also care about their role," he continued. "It takes someone who really will focus on the state of Ohio, will focus on national issues, someone who will really work hard," DeWine said after the November election. "This is not for the faint-hearted. This is not for someone who just wants to get a seat." At the breakfast the governor had hosted for journalists earlier this month, he added new consideration. "You particularly make a difference when the numbers are going to be, I guess, 53-47, DeWine said. "Every vote matters." When asked if the razor-thin majority in the U.S. House of Representatives will play a role in his decision, he said it was, quote, "a factor in his decision." "It's a reality," the governor said. "It's where we are today after the president took a few. This means he will likely not be appointing a sitting member of Congress. I spoke with more than 36 Republican strategists, consultants, lobbyists, and campaign staffers over the past weekend. When it came down to it, the vast majority saw Lieutenant Governor Jon Husted as the frontrunner. I've been trying to nail down DeWine on Husted for weeks now. At breakfast, invited State House journalists and sat with the governor, First Lady, friend, Lieutenant Governor, as well as members of other communication teams. After eating, DeWine stood up and took around 30 to 40 minutes of questions. Unsurprisingly, the first question was asked for an update on the Senate pick. He explained his criteria and danced around the question. "Does the candidate happen to be in the room at a different table?" he asked. "His name might rhyme with Ron Rusted." And the article goes on, and there's a lot of details about this, as well as some potential other candidates, but the main part of this is that DeWine and the Lieutenant Governor dined with President-elect Trump and Vice President-elect Vance. And this is where things get very interesting. When looking at the 2026 Senate race, it is going to be up in 26 as a special election. Again, the first election after this person has been appointed. If the article is to be correct, Jon Husted, the Lieutenant Governor of Ohio, is going to be the likely frontrunner as of right now. Well, what does this mean for the state of Ohio? Well, we can look back at some recent elections in Ohio. Back in 2022, J.D. Vance won his race against Tim Ryan, who has been rumored to be a potential Democratic candidate once again in the 2026 election. Vance defeated Ryan by 6.1%, 53.03% to Ryan's 46.92%. That would be enough to put it as likely Republican. We did also just see another race happen in Ohio just in 2024, where Republican Bernie Moreno was able to defeat Democratic incumbent Senator Sherrod Brown 50% to 46%. This would be a lean Republican win against a Democratic candidate who, once again, looking at the race on the Democratic side, Tim Ryan has publicly expressed interest, but Sherrod Brown is not ruled out potentially running for this seat. So it's very interesting that it's looking like there's a really good chance the Democrats are going to put up either Tim Ryan or Sherrod Brown. And seeing as the Ryan, the worst of the two, just ran a race in terms of electability reasons and only lost by 6 points in the state of Ohio, the Republican being chosen for this seat, like Governor DeWine says, a very important decision in this is picking someone that will be electable and be able to win the race in 2026. And that could be why he's considering choosing Jon Husted, his Lieutenant Governor of Ohio. And yes, he is the frontrunner, but there are lots of names, as the article mentioned, vying for this seat, including Mike Carey, a U.S. representative, Mahet Cook, Warren Davidson, Mike DeWine himself potentially. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's possible. Matt Dolan, Matt Huffman, the aforementioned Jon Husted, Sharon Kennedy, Frank LaRose, Josh Mandel, Robert Sprague, Jason Stevens, and James Timken. A lot of people who have run for Senate of Ohio in the past. So what does this mean for the map? Well, right now Republicans start out with about 51 Senate seats, Democrats 45, and I have Ohio listed as likely Republican. If it is going to be Husted versus Ryan, I think it's pretty fair to say it would probably start off as about likely Republican, and I could see Husted winning by about 6 to 7 points, considering. If it is Sherrod Brown running against Husted, well, things could get more competitive. I'd probably be a little bit hesitant and put it to start as lean Republican, seeing as it is an outgoing incumbent senator who's well known statewide, who did just lose in a lean Republican margin in 2024. So until things change, I don't see why they'd be all that different. But this development with Husted is certainly very interesting because now we're starting to get some insights that we could be getting a decision from DeWine in the not too distant future on who he will choose. So I wanted to give you this update. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give the video a like, click subscribe, share with your friends and family, and I hope to see you in a future video. That will do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to give it a like. And if you really liked it, please remember to click the subscribe button. And make sure you turn post notifications on so you always get notified when I post a new video. That way you never miss one. Also, please remember to share this video with your friends and family if you really like the video. And remember to stay tuned because I'll be posting at least one video every single day leading up until Election Day. So I'd really appreciate it if you keep coming back and watching those videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.